Okay, so top of the list, number one for me is Fablehaven by Brandon Mull. If you like magic, fairy tales, um, some definite creepy moments mixed in with really, really beautiful and moving resolutions and pretty much happy endings. I would definitely recommend Fablehaven. I took the paper cover off of it, but it kind of looks cool like this, don't you think? So that's one. Next, The Magician's Elephant by Kate DiCamillo. It's really short. Check it out. When I very first read this one, and I've read this book many, many times, but the very first time I read it in one sitting. So you can do that, but you can always stretch it out and enjoy. Or if you read it fast, you can read it again. But this one is the premise is a boy being told that his sister passed away, but then him having an interaction with a fortune teller that tells him something kind of mysterious and that things might not be as they seem. It is 100% a story about hope, so much about hope. It's about having hope and also about forgiveness, because there are some characters in here that definitely have to wrestle with forgiveness. I will tell you, it also is a happy ending. I love happy endings. So that's another book that I love. Of course, fiction probably goes without saying. Just so you know, all of these that I'm going to mention are fiction. Next is Redwall by Brian Jakes. And this is, okay, do any of you out there like Lord of the Rings? Okay, so take Lord of the Rings and change out all of the humans and humanoid characters. Switch them all for woodland creatures. Isn't that cute? Look at that. So a mouse is the hero, and every character is like a forest creature. So the mice are trying to defend their home from invading rats and weasels and I'm trying to think what other creatures. A snake. So, so good. Okay, so when I first started reading this, I thought like, okay, it's going to be like a fun, magical story. No, listen, this is it's like this story has heart. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it will grip your heart. It's not just this lighthearted, oh, how cute, these are some forest creatures living life. It's like there are heroes and sacrifice and mythology within their own world. And gosh, I just can't say enough good things about it. So if you love world building, detailed world building, and really, really heroic characters and battles, you need to read this. Definitely. Okay, next is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, of course. For anyone who doesn't know, this book right here is exactly what it looks like. This is a story of children. Okay, first I have to tell you this. When I was a teacher, I taught elementary school, and I called this the rainy day book. This one and the next one that I'm going to tell you about. So I called this the rainy day book because it's so cozy to read on a rainy day. Because it starts out with these children trying to get away from the bombings in London. So it's a little bit of a historical beginning to it, historical fiction, but then afterwards it's just fantasy. So they're sent off to the countryside in England to escape the bombings, and they're wandering through a mansion, and they discover what you see there, a wardrobe, and they go in and, yep, they enter a magical world through the wardrobe. And if you love fantasy and, again, happy endings, then you will love this book. And you could make it your rainy day book too. Okay, I said I have a second rainy day book. It is another one in the Chronicles of Narnia series. So this is like technically like the first in the series, but there's a prequel. And the prequel for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Not sure if did I even say the name? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Okay, so the prequel to that series is The Magician's Nephew. Oh, hey, how cool is this? Check this out. 2 books that I love. One is called The Magician's Elephant, and another is called The Magician's Nephew. How great is that? Okay, so this is also a rainy day book. This also involves children wandering through a large home and slipping into different worlds. So a really cool part of this book is that it's, children are the main characters and they're just exploring and they discover magical worlds. The best part to me is the place called The Wood Between the Worlds, I think it was called. And it's the children's, it's kind of like a forest. Oh, this thing keeps shaking. It's like a forest, but it's filled with puddles and the children can jump into puddles. And if they're doing the right magical things when they jump into the puddles, they can show up into another world. So all the different puddles and ponds take them to different worlds. These are books that I love, and you will probably love them too if you are into fantasy and magic, those kinds of things. And honestly, things that are written for children, because okay, here's the thing. I just finished reading a book that was also intended for children. I'm going to say middle grade fantasy fiction. And I really, really wanted to like it. But if you are super into like middle grade stories like I am, you will know that there is a style of writing that anybody can love, like adults, anybody. But the book that I finished reading today, I'm not going to show it to you because I support the idea of the book and the author who wrote the book, but I don't want anyone to look at it and to like not buy it or to think poorly of the author because I did not enjoy the writing. All that to say, the book that I finished reading today was intended for children, and its writing style was very simplistic and not enjoyable. It was actually really hard to read, even though it was supposed to be like this super magical, exciting adventure. These, however, all of these, this one, I already showed that one, this one, and this one, these 2 especially, anyone of any age can read these and be totally pulled into the world. Like if you want a book that absolutely pulls you into the story and you get lost in it, and then when it's over, you're like, hang on, let me get back in that story. These are it. They're really, really well written. So yeah, they're intended for children, I guess, for younger audiences, but don't let that stop you. They're really good. I have on my website, I have 2 different blogs. One of the blogs is called The Cozy Corner. It has its own Facebook page and all that. I'll link to it down in the description, but all that to say, I wrote blog posts with a lot more details about the themes and things you can look forward to if you read the book. I have blog posts that go into detail about Fablehaven and The Magician's Elephant. I will also link to those in the description below. And now I want to hear from you. Please tell me in the comments below, have you read any of these books and do you love them as much as I do? Also, even if you don't love these books, what books do you love? Because I'm always looking for new recommendations. Please tell me in the comments below.